Am I wrong for thinking that a large portion of Star Wars fans are just flat out dumb as a steaming pile of horseshit? Is that so bad? And trust me, I have evidence to support my claim, unlike the large majority of Star Wars fans that tend to pull the most bogus horseshit out of their ass whenever they call anyone that likes a film they don't like a shill or a Disney hater for not liking Rogue One. And I liked Rogue One, but didn't love it. But a ton of Star Wars fans are making complete fools out of themselves by doing ridiculous bullshit such as starting a petition to strike The Last Jedi from canon and even going as far as starting absolutely ludicrous petitions to make Rian Johnson admit that The Last Jedi is supposedly a bad film. As if Rian Johnson is supposed to give one single solitary shit about your garbage opinion, as if he's supposed to care about the quantity of people that didn't like his completely competent work that everyone asked for, as if because the Last Jedi is not the old EU, it should be struck from canon. You know, just let that sink in for a few minutes. A lot of Star Wars fans want The Last Jedi struck from canon because it did not conform to their fan theories, or because it's not the old EU that they're so purist about. And they call original trilogy fans purists for not liking the prequels. Keyword, not like, not hate. I don't like the prequels. I never said I hated them. This is pretty much Star Wars fans in a nutshell.
Well, we don't like The Last Jedi. We don't like that Rian Johnson did not make our fan theories come to life, and we don't like how The Last Jedi is not the old EU. Well, I do love Star Wars with all my heart, with only A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back in my movie collection. I think anybody that likes The Last Jedi is not a true Star Wars fan. I think anybody that likes anything that I don't is not a true Star Wars fan. I think anybody that dislikes what I like is not a true fan. I am a true Star Wars fan that hates Clone Wars, Rebels, AU, prequels, and sequels, and the spin-offs, and the Return of the Jedi, because Ewoks suck. And if you like that stuff, you're not a true Star Wars fan.
Oh, Star Wars fans. Troublesome as always. You know, if the original trilogy were to be released today, these brainless half-wits would be wasting their time making filler videos why they are the worst movies of all time and making these ridiculous petitions to make George Lucas admit they're bad films. Because as if directors are supposed to dictate of what the audience is so puny brain about. They'd be going on and on how connecting Luke and Darth Vader by family relation is the dumbest thing ever. They would also be going on and on how the Emperor shooting Force lightning from his fingertips is over the top and how it's ruining their Star Wars. They would be going on and on about how Luke, a farm boy, supposedly unrealistically blew up the most powerful space station in the galaxy. Even though the evidence for both Luke and Rey is crystal clear of why neither of them are a Gary Stu or a Mary Sue. You guys wanted a new story after The Force Awakens supposedly rehashed A New Hope, so why are all of you up in arms at Rian Johnson for not remaking Empire Strikes Back? Oh, right, because you want to bandwagon what the media says about these Star Wars films, because you are afraid of having an opinion that everyone would just instant get onto like flies to shit. I don't think you guys understand why we got a film that follows the formula like A New Hope did when The Force Awakens came out. I don't think you guys quite understand why we are getting what we are today. It's one word, 3 syllables. Compromise. Compromise. George Lucas compromised with Disney when he sold it for $4 billion because he realized, he knew in his heart that his prime time passed and that there was no reason for him to keep dragging Star Wars out further and further with all these ridiculous special editions and garbage prequels. He did the right thing. All of you tend to forget that George Lucas himself said that the old EU was not canon, which is something you guys love to suck on 24/7. As Kylo Ren said, it's time to let the past die, kill it if you have to, the only way to become who you are meant to be. And that is Star Wars. It became what it meant to be. Actually, it more realistically, it returned to its roots. All these fans are crying and whining because boo fucking you, we get female protagonists as the main characters in the films in these recent stories. Wah, it's feminist propaganda. SJWs are ruined Star Wars, even though Star Wars since 1999 was already ruined. Get that shit out of here. Why do you care so goddamn much about the main character's gender anyway? As long as Daisy Ridley's acting is phenomenal and amazing, I'll approve. Which is, by the way, leagues and light millenniums superior to Padmé. Why are you pricks so scared of women these days? The only reason you asswiped to ignore the fact that there were already main protagonist females from films like the original Star Wars trilogy, Alien and Aliens, and the first two Terminator movies is because of nostalgia goggle and suspension of belief, as well as hypocrisy. As if every fucking movie pre-2010s is supposed to be 100% perfect with no plot holes, no conveniences, or whatever. The 2010s were not all shit, and the 20th century is not all perfect. Get the hell over yourselves. Why are you so insistent that Star Wars' #1 protagonist should always be a white male? This is ridiculous. You guys need to get over it. First, you guys, prior to The Force Awakens, went from wanting Star Wars to feel like Star Wars again, in other words, the original trilogy. Then you shit on it for being A New Hope 2.0, and then prior to The Last Jedi, you all begged Rian Johnson to make a new story with new vehicles and new plot points and shit that do not rehash Empire Strikes Back, and that's what he did. And what did you guys do? You threw massive temper tantrums like whiny, overgrown babies, and even went as far as making ridiculous petitions against him and The Last Jedi. Make up your fucking minds! Because of your bratty behavior, worse than what you put Kylo Ren out to be, by the way, the media is starting to see your guys' true colors. The media is starting to realize you guys act like religious nuts, belittling people who don't conform to you. It's absolutely sickening. You guys need to start understanding the grand scheme of things in the Star Wars film industry. J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson gave you guys what you wanted, and they have the passion and soul for Star Wars, and you guys still fucking shit on it? You shat on J.J. Abrams after giving you a film that felt like Star Wars and the original trilogy, and then you shit on Rian Johnson for giving you a new story after you were bitching and moaning and whining about how The Force Awakens was too unoriginal? Get the hell off your high horses. Grow the fuck up. Where are your priorities, and where are your standards? What the hell do you want? We got directors and cast members and whatnot that genuinely care about Star Wars, and now you all want to go back to the nothingness that's the prequels and the garbage special editions? Get that shit out of here. Who else do you think cares about Star Wars as much as J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson? Michael Bay? If so, good luck seeing romances even worse than Padmé and Anakin wanting him to direct Star Wars movies. Ugh. As he's known for hovering cameras over attractive women just because he can, and going overboard with them explosions. Don't get mad if he does end up directing a Star Wars film one day either. You took your request for a Star Wars film for granted when J.J. Abrams brought Star Wars back to the roots of Star Wars itself. And then it got worse when you threw man-child temper tantrums at Rian Johnson for creating a new story with callbacks. When are you guys gonna finally grow the fuck up? But hey, it's not like it matters anyway. There will never be a Star Wars film that'll impress everyone. It won't be long until The Last Jedi will no longer be the most controversial Star Wars film of all time. Han Solo film coming out pretty soon, in the new trilogy by Rian Johnson. Enough people in the media already realize that these overly sensitive man-children Star Wars fans are the ones pointing and kicking and screaming and crying all because The Last Jedi didn't conform to their fan theories or their old EU. You know what? Kiss my ass. Disney does not have to do that fan service dog shit. It's ironic you guys give The Force Awakens shit for fan service, but bitch at The Last Jedi for not enough fan service. Get that shit out of here. If you really think the prequels are better, then you are lost. Because the boring-ass politics is not what I think of when I hear Star Wars. I don't want to go deep into this shit again, but it's fucking Star Wars, not star politics. What matters is that the war exists, not how it came to be, not the boring political debating shit behind it. Does every tiny little thing need an explanation or a backstory? Hey Alex, where'd you get that shirt? I got it at Spencer's. Oh, cool. Who knitted it? Whoever works for Metallica? What was his name? I don't know. Lineage and backstories are for another time. What you find internally important is not externally important to the new trilogy. And don't give me the whole...
If you need another film to justify an explanation, then it's shit.
Then by that logic, Empire Strikes Back must be garbage because of its ending. Because the ending to Empire Strikes Back didn't explain anything whatsoever in the film itself until Return of the Jedi. Do you pricks even listen to yourselves? Empire Strikes Back did not explain anything at all in its ending. So does Empire Strikes Back suck too? What's gonna be your next dogshit excuse to hate the next Star Wars film now that we both got a Star Wars film that's very similar to the original trilogy and a Star Wars film for the most part completely different from the original trilogy with littered callbacks? Because the prequels supposedly were too different, The Force Awakens was too similar, and The Last Jedi was just right. So what bullshit excuses are you going to pull out of your ass to justify your preposterous hatred towards Episode 9? Because now that Snoke is dead, the worst J.J. Abrams can do is rehash another Starkiller base, rehash a plot point of Rey returning to Jakku and nearly getting eaten by a sand monster, rehashing the Ewoks, and what have you. I can't wait until I see the piss-poor justifications of your blind bandwagoning towards Episode 9 in nearly 2 years. Because with every film release, you make yourselves look more and more hypocritical each fucking time. There will never be a Star Wars film that will please everyone, and that's fine. But don't shove your ridiculous horseshit down our throats. Not everyone has to agree with you. And if you can't accept that, then get out of the fandom. On the topic of the lineage of Snoke, Rian Johnson explained this in a sagacious and well thought out manner, and it should have been obvious to you halfwits by now of why his backstory to the story of the new trilogy is not as important as you think it is. Rian Johnson said it would have stopped any of these scenes dead cold if he had stopped and given a 30-second speech about how he's Darth Plagueis. It doesn't matter to Rey. If he had done that, Rey would have blinked and said, "Who?" And the scene would have gone on. And I'm not saying he's Darth Plagueis. And there you have it. And for all those saying that they are crying about him being killed off supposedly too early, if he was killed in Episode 9, you would all be throwing a massive tirade against J.J. Abrams about how he's rehashing Return of the Jedi. And Return of the Jedi, third movie in the original trilogy. Episode 9, third movie in the sequel trilogy. You guys would have been crying and whining and throwing man-child temper tantrums about how the entire trilogy is a rehash to the original trilogy. You guys would be a bunch of motherfucking hypocrites if you were to ever look like that. So accept the fact that Snoke is dead. You guys don't understand how many casualties are within my brain cells when you make yourselves as hypocritically ludicrous as this. The Last Jedi has Star Wars I remember. Intense, fun, unpredictable, engaging, emotionally connective. That is Star Wars written all over it. Light centuries better than the prequel trilogy. If you don't like it, that's fine. It's fine to not like the unpredictable roller coaster. Just don't be a prick to those that don't conform to your bullshit opinions. I still take the lightsaber fight from The Force Awakens over Yoda flipping like a cartoon, General Grievous oversaturating the lightsabers. When we see lightsaber fights in the prequels, it's to show us that Count Dooku supposedly reached level 12 Sith status. I don't know what the hell is going on in this scene. I'll tell you what goes on in the lightsaber fight against Kylo Ren, though. Rey is pissed at Kylo Ren for killing her father figure and also Kylo's own biological father. So Finn and Rey are angry enough to want to avenge Han Solo. Rey then force catches the lightsaber to slowly realize what her destiny is. For a while she is running away from the fight, afraid she will get critically wounded like how she failed to resist Kylo Ren's capture on Takodana, because she realizes what Kylo Ren is capable of. Again, it's not so much about how trained or super skilled these two are, but rather the motivations within them. Kylo Ren is emotionally unbalanced after killing Han Solo, and Rey wants to avenge him. It was then that Rey realized it was the Force that will guide her and side with her. Angry emotions, only her hatred would destroy Kylo Ren. But when we see lightsaber fights in the prequels, it's because, well, you know,
Lightsabers are so cool! Did you see Yoda flipping like a cartoon? Did you see the oversaturated lightsabers from General Grievous? That was beyond epic!
I am convinced that drooling idiot Star Wars fans like lightsaber fights the same way my cat likes it whenever I dangle my iPhone charger in front of her fucking face. Anyways, Carrie, I'm really sorry for comparing you to Star Wars prequel apologists. I'm really, really sorry. I know you're not a psychopath. I know you're not one of those edgelords. I know you're not. an asshole. I know you're not stupid. I know you're not a childish, whiny brat. I know you're not a whiny master butthurt imbecile. I know you're not a piece of shit. I know you're not a parasite of a fan base. I know you're not. You're absolutely none of that. I know you're not an uninformed piece of shit. You are one of the best things that has ever happened to my life. I know. I'm really, really sorry for comparing you to Star Wars prequel apologists. Can you forgive me, Carrie? I love you. I'm so sorry for comparing you to the worst things about the Star Wars community. I am so sorry for comparing you to the absolute scum of the Star Wars community. I really am sorry. Are we still friends? You're still one of my favorite pets. You're still my favorite cat. I'm really sorry for comparing you to those scumbags. I really am sorry. Star Wars fans, it's time to get the hell over it. A real fan would not pull the whole true fan or real fan card out of their ass. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments anyway saying, but you just did. Yeah, well, at least I don't pull the true fan or real fan card out of my ass whenever someone likes a Star Wars film I don't. Or that they hate a Star Wars film that I like. Get the hell over yourselves. Anyways, that does it for this video. If you like the new trilogy, great for you. If you don't, that's a bummer. It happens. Just don't be a prick about it. To quote Hello Greedo, be civil, have fun. Space out.